Okay, let's have a look at another average rate of change, just with a bit less information. Okay, so you've got to use these points to find the average rate of change between these 2 points. Now you could graph this, you could put it on a graph, but look, I've just put those points as XY coordinates, okay? So there's the question, and I've just created this little table, because I want to know this. How far has it gone up, in other words, the Y direction? So think about the other questions like with the temperature, how far did it go up, in how long, all right? How far has this gone up? So again, I think about that what I'm saying here, okay? If I just do something like that. How far has it gone up the y-axis? Now, I don't know where this point is, so I'll just make them up, okay? So maybe it's there, and maybe it's there. Maybe this one is that coordinate there, and maybe this one is that coordinate there, okay? Maybe. I'm just making this up, okay? Now look, of course, it's going to be a nice straight line, if I can draw a straight line. Okay, so how far is it going up? Well, it went up, can you see? It went up by 50. Whether you look at a table, okay, or maybe these points were on a graph. Maybe that was the 350, okay, and maybe that was the 400. So imagine it was on a graph. Okay, it went up by 50. And how long did it take for it to go up? If it is time, we don't know. Okay, so this, we could say maybe this is 85. And this point here is 89. So it went along in 4. Again, I'm not saying this is time or anything, but look, it went up 50 up the y-axis as it went 4 along the y-axis. It increased by 50 on the y as it increased by 4 along the x. Okay, so I'm looking at this, you know, that's just 4 there, isn't it? 85 to 89. And then that's it. So the average rate of change, whatever 50 divided by 4 is, that I believe is 12.5. Now I've got no units on this. I have no idea if I went 50 miles in 4 hours, okay, my average rate of change would be 12.5 miles an hour. I know we call that miles an hour, okay, but supposing I gained, imagine if you weighed 350 pounds and you went up to 400 pounds in 4 weeks, 4 years, whatever. Can you imagine going up 12.5 pounds per week? All right, that's what it would mean. Okay, but of course we've got no kind of units on this, but that's what it is. The average rate of change is 12.5. Now start to get used to this, because this eventually is going to be our slope of a line. So remember, slopes of lines. The average rate of change is 12.5, but also the slope of this line is 12.5.